Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate you with all my heart. If you're a new subscriber or if you have just bumped into this video, I genuinely appreciate you. You're very welcome here. You can hit the subscribe button and you're not going to regret it. So today I made a small list. About this. It's something I've been thinking about for quite some time, so I decided to compile a small list about things that you genuinely owe yourself an apology for. If you have ever put yourself in this position, in any of this position or all of this position, and if it's all of them, I'm genuinely sorry. You have really had it rough. You have really gone through it. But if you have put yourself in any of these positions, when you genuinely owe yourself an apology, because most of the time when you do something wrong to someone, when you hurt someone, or when you mess up, or when you do something wrong to someone, probably your friend, your colleague, your boss, your parent, your partner, whatever, the first thing you're going to do is to apologize to the person because you want to make peace. But why is it that when we wrong ourselves, or when we sell ourselves short, or when we do something to ourselves, we don't usually come to the point where you apologize to yourself and you try to make peace with yourself? Because I thought about it, and most of the time we're struggling with emotions that can simply be solved by acknowledging it to yourself and apologizing to yourself. Because we tend to put ourselves in very compromising situations, in very compromising positions, just to keep someone or people, or to just hold on to something that it's not meant for you. So the first thing, I feel like this should be the ultimate worst. That is my personal opinion. I genuinely feel like if you have done this, you need to go in front of a mirror. First, you need to kill a goat. A goat is too small. You need to kill a cow to appease yourself, because this one is, I feel like it's the worst form of self disrespect. Yeah, that is my personal opinion. So if you have ever picked up your phone, dialed a number, called another woman, threatened her, or told her to leave your man alone, sis, I don't know, I don't know what we're supposed to do with you, but this one is the worst form of self-disrespect. And if you have ever done this, you need to appease the gods. The gods are angry. Your ancestors are literally shaking. Your ancestors are literally turning in their graves right now. If you have done this before, please do not move on with your life like nothing has happened, because this is the worst kind of self-disrespect you can ever put yourself through. Because let me state it like this. Okay, the only thing that we can as in the only thing that can be a little bit excused if this woman tried to disrespect you, tried to come for you, or tried to just carry your name in her mouth up and down. But if this woman has no idea who you are, and you take your phone to threaten her to leave your man alone, honey, no, we do not do that. Because if that man wanted to be left alone, you would not be in that position. Yeah. If that man did not want anything to do with that woman, imagine you would not even know of her existence. You would not be in the position where you have to text her, you have to call her, you have to threaten her to leave your man alone. So, if anything, it's your man that is chasing after this woman. It's not the other way around. So do not attack or fight or confront another woman who probably has no idea that you exist over a man. Do not disrespect yourself like that. It is not your role. If that man has told you that it's this woman that is chasing me, it's this woman that wants me, he should be the one to put her in her place. It is not your job. It is not your role. You're not the one that is supposed to do that. Let him do that. Let him put her in her place. Don't overplay, don't overdo things. That is overdoing it. You're doing something that you're not supposed to. It is not in your place. That is my point. So if you've done that, honey, you have to start the ritual of appeasing the gods. You have to start the rituals of apologizing to yourself, because that is a big chunk of disrespect that you swallowed. And I am sorry if you have ever been in that position where you have to confront another woman. But please, I need you to promise yourself. I need you to say it, that I mention your name. Say it with me. I, and then you insert your name. Promise that I will never confront another woman over a man. I hope you've said that, because no, don't ever do that again. That is number one. Number two, if you have ever exaggerated your position in someone's life and it has made you to overplay your role, it has made you to overdo things just because you thought that, there are sometimes maybe you're a sneaky link, or maybe it's not that serious. By the way, if someone does not ask you directly to be their girlfriend, just assume that you're not in a relationship, because that is when you ask. Maybe it has happened, maybe you have had this undefined situation for some years, and then you one day you catch someone cheating and they tell you, bro, you're not even my girlfriend. What gives you the right to ask me questions? So this whole time you have been dating yourself and you had no idea. So do not overplay your role. As long as that person has not asked you to be their girlfriend, you're nothing. Like, just take it as if you're just chilling. Do not overplay your role in someone's life. Please, honey, do not waste your weekends washing clothes and thorough cleaning a house. As in, you're not his wife. Why are you doing that? I know that a lot of people are going to take this the wrong way, but that is so crazy. Why are you scrubbing his jeans? Why are you why are you scrubbing his boxers and you're just his girlfriend? Like, you come over the weekend. Who, as in, you only come there on Friday or on Saturday. Let's say, just say on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You make sure you turn the house upside down, cleaning every corner, cleaning everywhere. You leave the house sparkling. Do you know who comes on Monday to Fridays when you're not around? I hate to be the breaker of bad news, but as in, I will never advise my friend to do these kinds of things. I feel like this is something that we're not even supposed to be discussing in 2023. You're not supposed to be the one that wants. By the way, let me tell you something. If you're trying to do that to prove your worth to this person, if you're trying to do that to show this man that, you know me, I can be your wifey, I can do these things. As in, you don't need to audition. A man that wants to wife you is going to wife you regardless. Whether you scrub, whether you. So do not feel like you need to audition for that position. Someone that wants to wife you is going to wife you no matter what. Okay, so that is the second point. If you have done this, if you're overplaying your role, if you're exaggerating your place in someone's life, you owe yourself an apology. Because, as in, why do you feel like you need to do that? Why do you feel like you need to prove to someone that it is me? This is, I beg, please don't do those kinds of things. The other thing that I feel like you owe yourself an apology for, if you have ever sold yourself short. By this I mean, maybe you're the kind of person that when someone compliments you, or when someone recommends you, or when someone just speaks highly of you, you have to correct them so that you tone yourself down. For example, let me just give a verbal example. Maybe at work, maybe your supervisor or your manager is telling you, I like how you're good at this, or you're actually very good at this, and then you come and say, I'm not so good, I'm still learning. Why don't you just take a compliment and go? Why do you have to sell yourself short? Why do you have to, like, try to undermine yourself? You undersell yourself. Sometimes you can be admiring someone that actually admires you, or you could be admiring someone that actually learns from you. So don't sell yourself short. If someone gives you a compliment, learn to take the compliment. Maybe someone tells you something like, oh, I like your makeup. You have very good makeup. Well, I'm still learning. I'm just winging it. I'm still learning from YouTube. Just say thank you and go. Don't try to sell yourself short. Okay. The other thing that I feel like you owe yourself an apology for is if you have dumped, or let me not use the word dump, if you have stopped hanging out with your friends for the sake of a relationship, let me clarify it in this way. You know, there are some friends that you cannot keep if you want to be in a meaningful relationship. We have friends that we know, friends that party from Monday to Monday, friends that like to club every day. Of course, when you get into a serious relationship and you're trying to be in that serious relationship, you have to respect your partner's emotions. You have to respect your partner's, reservations about these friends. That one is understandable. That one is understandable, and I have no problem with that. I need you to get me very clearly, because we normally have friends that are bad news, friends that don't believe in love, friends that don't believe in relationships. Of course, when you get to a serious relationship, you have to tone it down with these kinds of friends, because they're going to try to tell you, oh, you're simping too much for your partner, you're overdoing for you. Me, I have friends that I can never go to for relationship advice, because I know they will tell me, dump him, dump him. And I have friends that are a bit logical, are a bit, they'll try to reason with you. So we have categorized our friends. We know that we have friends that we can ask for financial advice. We have friends that we can ask for relationship advice. We have friends that we only have because of clubbing and vibing and partying and all these kinds of things. But when it comes to real life situations, we cannot consider them. So I'm trying to say that if you are the kind of person that once you get into a relationship, all your friends stop to exist, you no longer check on your friends, you no longer hang out with your friends, your whole life revolves around this person, you need to do better. I mean, we need to do better, because I had a friend who was like that. Anytime she was in a relationship, we stopped to exist. And then, as in, when the relationship ends or when the relationship crumbles, she now comes crawling back. And we're like the ones that will pick up the pieces until she meets the next one. And it's a cycle. It gets to a point where it gets exhausting, and you demand to, like, as in, I can't do this. I can't continue to play this role anymore. I can't continue to be that person for you anymore. So the friendship got a bit sticky. The relationship got a bit challenging. Sorry, my phone died. So we are back. I feel like the other thing that you have to really ask yourself for forgiveness, if you have put yourself in this position, if you have ever begged someone to respect your feelings, to respect your emotions, or to prioritize you in their lives, I feel like you have to apologize to yourself, because someone that genuinely values you will never put you in a position where you have to beg for the bare minimum. Something as bare minimum as respect being prioritized. Because let me tell you something, there are a few things that once you start to notice them, there are a few things that when you start to notice them, before you dive too deep, I feel like you have to just subtract yourself from that situation, because it gets worse. It never gets better. Don't ever lie to yourself that things will get better. One day he will see my worth. One day he will notice that I am actually worthy, and he or she will start to treat me better. This one is for both genders, because we normally speak as if men don't get taken for a ride. We normally speak as if men don't get taken for granted, but they also do. So this one is all inclusive. If you feel like you have to overdo something with the intention of trying to prove to someone that you're worthy, and they should now reciprocate, or they should now treat you with respect, and imagine, you will continue to drain yourself. You will continue to drain yourself to the point where you have nothing else to give. And by the time that happens, a very strong sense of resentment has already taken over the whole situation, the whole relationship. Now things are beyond control. Things are gotten to the point where they cannot be saved anymore. Nothing can be done anymore. And that is a very sad point, because you have there's actually a video I have of a representation of someone a wounded a wounded person. I will try to insert the video. This is a representation of how a wounded person, someone that keeps giving and giving and giving, it gets to a point where the person can no longer give because you cannot hold it anymore. You cannot take it anymore. I feel like, as in, when it gets to this point, the resentment, the bitterness, because these things keep piling up. They keep piling up slowly and slowly. They keep piling up, and once it blows up, these are the stories that we keep hearing every day. That of extreme violence, of who killed who. These are like, it's a buildup of bitterness and resentment that I feel like can easily be avoided, can easily be prevented by you yourself just getting yourself out of that situation. Because it's going to turn you into someone that you do not want to be. It is going to change you. It is going to make you so hateful, so resentful, so bitter. Like, you see these people that are normally like, once you see people who are in happy relationships, you can't help but make comments like, mtaachana tu, or they'll just break up, they're just faking it, they're just, do you know that there are people that are actually in healthy and loving relationships? You don't have to make it seem as if they're faking it or they're pretending just to make yourself feel better. That, as in, if you've gotten to that point, you should check on the relationship that you're in. If you're bitter about seeing other people happy, that is the first time that you should actually check on the relationship that you yourself is in, because chances are that relationship is turning you into a bitter person that does not believe that there are two people that are actually in a very healthy and loving relationship. Do you get that? So the final thing that I thought about is, as in, if you have continued to let things slide just because you're afraid of confrontation, just because you want peace to reign in, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or whatever it is that you have going on, if you continue to collect disrespect upon disrespect upon disrespect and keep quiet because you want peace, because you don't want any problems, because you don't want to risk losing this person, you owe yourself a big apology, my love. Because essentially, you're trying to say that you're a doormat, that it's okay if you're uncomfortable, it's okay if someone else is stepping all over you, as long as you keep them in your life. Imagine it is not worth it. It is not worth it. If you have to risk your own self respect, if you have to risk your worth, if you have to risk your peace of mind just to keep someone around, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. You're losing more than you think you're gaining. If anything, you're not gaining shit, you're not gaining anything. You're actually losing yourself. So one day you look yourself in the mirror and you'll not be able to recognize yourself. You'll not be able to recognize who you are. You will not be able to, as in, you'll not be able to see it. You will not be able to see it. Let me give you a story. Recently, I was serving a customer, and she was a woman. She was a very quiet, nice woman. And she was having some conversations with her two kids. She had two kids, small kids, like 7 and 9, I think, 7 and 9. So, as I was serving her, I noticed that they were having conversations. The kids were very free. They were very free with her. So they were talking, they were making jokes, they were laughing and everything. And then when I was finished serving them, when I was finished checking them out, not checking them out, when I finished scanning their items now, it's the man that was coming to pay. So the guy was the other side, like he was standing at the far end, like he was not with them. They were not in the same position. So he was standing at the far end. When I was finished scanning, he came to make the payment. So as soon as the guy came, I noticed that the kids suddenly went quiet. They were very like almost as if they were scared. They were not themselves anymore. So the man finished paying, and then he walked ahead, and then he told the woman to go back and get something. So he was walking ahead, and then when the kid followed the woman to go get that other thing that the man asked the woman to get. So when they came, I was just like, uh, You have very intelligent kids, because I just told the woman, you have very intelligent kids, because these kids were smart. They were very smart. The conversations that we were having with the mom, they are very smart kids. So I was telling her, you have a very intelligent kids. You're really nailing it at this motherhood thing. I swear to God, the woman shed tears. And then she was like, I don't usually hear that often. So which means like she's not, as in she's not so used to being told that. She shed tears. I'm legit, I'm not lying. She shed tears and told me, I'm not used to hearing that. I don't hear that very often. So in my head I was like, it's not like she's fishing for compliments. It's not like she's begging to be complimented, but you can clearly see that she's doing a good job at this motherhood thing. And me acknowledging that touched a part of her heart, and she was touched by that simple comment. That is to say that this man that she's with does not acknowledge it, does not see it. So my point is, if you put your partner in a position where them get that them getting a small compliment from a stranger or from someone else will touch their hearts to the point where it brings them to tears, it means that you are depriving them of words of affirmation. You're depriving them of positive words to the point where they're almost hungry for it, that when they get it, they will be over emotional about it, because to me it was a very shallow thing for me to say it. I said it as in it was a very shallow thing, but her reaction was quite emotional. Do you understand me? So if you're in a relationship with someone, try to be don't deprive them of something as simple as basic as positive words or words of affirmation, because you're going to make them to be over emotional when someone gives them that small thing, you know so that was a bit of a rant, but I had to just let it out. I had to speak about it because it is something that actually got me thinking a lot. It got me thinking a lot. Anyway, I'm going to leave with this parting shot. Do not deprive yourself, or do not ignore yourself. By that I mean, if you wrong yourself or if you disrespect yourself, just apologize to yourself, because you owe it to yourself. You cannot be apologizing to everyone else and you ignore and forget yourself. Because if you start to speak about the times that you have put yourself in compromising situations or disrespectful situations, you as in me, if I start to speak as in anyway, you owe yourself an apology as well. You do. You genuinely do. And you should give yourself that apology and pledge an allegiance to yourself that you are never going to put yourself in these disrespectful positions ever again. Because we decided we're going to do better. We decided that we're not going to be doormats anymore. We are not going to do that. We're not going to be like walked all over by people. No, we're not going to take that anymore. So thank you so much for sitting through this video. I'll see you on my next one. I appreciate you so much. Feel free to comment, feel free to like, feel free to share. And if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, please do that. I'll see you on my next one. Bye. Mwah.